If you hate a person, then you're defeated by them. Not being outraged by anything is a superpower. The smarter you get, the more you realize anger is not worth it. Anger makes us feel so isolated. An action committed in anger is an action doomed to failure. One's anger is one's greatest enemy, and one's calmness is one's protection. Another person will not hurt you without your cooperation. You are hurt the moment you believe yourself to be. Shouting something didn't make it any more possible. Tears of despair can be fuel. Thunders of anger can be light. I would not look upon anger as something foreign to me that I have to fight. I have to deal with my anger with care, with love, with tenderness, with nonviolence. If you're offended easily, you're a bad resource allocator. It's a waste of energy and attention, which is a greater sin than wasting time. It always makes me proud to love the world somehow. Hate so easy compared. It doesn't hurt me unless I interpret its happening as harmful to me. I can choose not to. I will permit no man to narrow and degrade my soul by making me hate him. No one heals himself by wounding another. Hatred is public and shameless demonstration of inferiority complex. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. The instant we feel anger, we have already ceased striving for the truth and have begun striving for ourselves. Judge and feel separate and lonely, anger and lose peace of mind, cling and live in anxiety, fantasize and miss the present, desire and suffer until you have it. Friendly reminder, if you ever lose your temper, it is your fault. Always, your emotional responses are never the responsibility of any other human being. Everyone asks how to deal with anger when it arises. No one asks how to prevent anger from arising. So other people hurt me. That's their problem. Their character and actions are not mine. A man is about as big as the things that make him angry. You will not be punished for your anger. You will be punished by your anger. We will cease to be angry once we cease to be so hopeful. An angry man opens his mouth and shuts his eyes. Delay gratification. Don't give your ego the satisfaction of a scream. The best way to avenge yourself is to not be like that. When you think you've been injured, apply this rule. If the community isn't injured by it, neither am I, and if it is, anger is not the answer. Show the offender where he went wrong. We can't control what people say, but we do have a say in how we react. Refusing to give others power over our feelings is a mark of emotional intelligence. Only when we know our own darkness well can we be present with the darkness of others. If we could learn to like ourselves, even a little, maybe our cruelties and angers might melt away. A person does not react to the insult. He reacts to what the insult makes him feel about himself. A person who truly understands is rarely outraged. Those who take pride in their outrage rarely understand. A verbal threat is the most authentic certificate of impotence. Hatred is like a two-edged sword. When you cut the other person, you cut yourself. A wise man looks for everything inside of himself. A madman seeks for everything in others. When you want to become free, your righteousness and anger are much less interesting than they used to be. Just because you're offended doesn't mean you're right. Being offended is a choice and should be chosen wisely. An eye for an eye will only make the whole world blind. The greatest remedy for anger is delay. Most quarrels are inevitable at the time, incredible afterwards. I get angry about things, then go on and work. Hate, it has caused a lot of problems in the world, but has not solved one yet. If your hate could be turned into electricity, it would light up the whole world. Hating clouds the mind. It gets in the way of strategy. Leaders cannot afford to hate. Anger may seem to be a source of energy, but it's blind. It causes us to lose our restraint. It may stir courage, but that too is blind. Anger dwells only in the bosom of fools. When reason ends, then anger begins. Therefore, anger is a sign of weakness. Anger is a weed, hate is the tree. Anybody can become angry, that is easy, but to be angry with the right person, and to the right degree, and at the right time, and for the right purpose, and in the right way, that is not within everybody's power and is not easy. I imagine one of the reasons people cling to their hate so stubbornly is because they sense, once hate is gone, they will be forced to deal with pain. For every minute you are angry, you lose 60 seconds of happiness. Anger is an acid that can do more harm to the vessel in which it is stored than to anything on which it is poured. Doing an injury puts you below your enemy. Revenging one makes you but even with him. Forgiving, it sets you above him. Anger is only one letter short of danger. When you set out on a journey of revenge, first dig 2 graves. There is no passion so much transports the sincerity of judgment as doth anger. Never hate your enemies, it affects your judgment. Never waste a minute thinking about people you don't like. Anger reduces reason. Taking offense is optional. Being offended is a choice. If you're mad, it is your fault. Anger is really disappointed hope. All ferocity is born from weakness. The best answer for anger is silence. Anger is fleeting, remorse is eternal. You are the first victim of your anger. Don't respond to provocation with imitation. When anger rises, think of the consequences. Easily offended people are such a chore. Fire in the heart sends smoke into the head. Adopt the pace of nature, her secret is patience. Hating someone does more damage to yourself than them. He who angers you conquers you. Promote what you love instead of bashing what you hate. You either give up and quit, or you get angry and fight. Take a step back and smile. Don't take a step forward and scream. Haters are confused admirers who want to be like you. Any person capable of angering you becomes your master. They can anger you only when you permit yourself to be disturbed by them. Conquer the angry one by not getting angry. Conquer the wicked by goodness. Conquer the stingy by generosity, and the liar by speaking the truth. Anger comes so fast we don't even notice it. Cultivating detachment, presence, and silence every day will help you react less. Understand at last that you have something in you more powerful and divine than what causes the bodily passions and pulls you like a mere puppet. When you fill your life with love, you'll find that anger, guilt, resentment, and any negative feelings will leave you. We all have negative urges, but we don't have to act out those urges. Be aware of whom the anger is hurting. Usually it's yourself first and foremost. I now mostly feel sorry for angry people. Look at the people you don't love and see them as an exercise for you to open your heart. Be angry, it's okay. To be angry, that is very human. And to learn how to smile at your anger and make peace with your anger is very nice. When you are angry, be aware of your anger. As you become aware of it, you are no longer lost in anger. You get to see it from the outside. Holding grudges is stupid, unproductive, and poisonous. Only fools hold on. The wise let go. The more anger towards the past you carry in your heart, the less capable you are of loving in the present. The biggest mistake we make with negative emotions is trying not to feel them. Awareness deepens positive emotions and allows negative ones to dissipate. Trying to avoid your feelings causes suffering. You can dislike someone and still learn from them. Pause and ask yourself, does this really need a response? Little annoyances come and go. The irritation fades quickly if it is not indulged. Try to avoid making important decisions when you're angry. Acknowledge the emotion. Recognize that it clouds your judgment. Remember that angry people tend to sacrifice the long-term good in response to short-term provocation. Why can't we control our anger? Because we love perfection. Make a little room for imperfection in our lives. Promise yourself that you will assume you are the root of your problems next time you get upset. Never go to bed mad. Stay up and fight. Speak when you are angry and you will make the best speech you will ever regret. Angry is just sad's bodyguard. Unsubscribe from your drama. You shouldn't give circumstances the power to rouse anger, for they don't care at all. People generally quarrel because they cannot argue. It's funny how people think you hate them when you literally do not think of them at all. When angry, count 4. When very angry, swear. Anger when reality and expectations don't fit. Bitterness, anger that forgot where it came from. Those who want to be outraged are never without a reason. Anger is its own punishment. An angry person trying to push your head below water is drowning at the same time. The ignorant mind, with its infinite afflictions, passions, and evils, is rooted in the 3 poisons: greed, anger, and delusion. Being angry is more about what's going on inside of you than it is about the thing that triggered you. Anger is not impressive or tough. It's a mistake. It's weakness. Depending on what you're doing, it might even be a trap that someone laid for you. If you're angry, you're part of the problem, not the solution. How much more harmful are the consequences of anger and grief than the circumstances that aroused them in us? You remember the insults you received far more than those you gave. Anger is privilege for the strong, duty for the righteous, and self-harm for the weak. How easily someone is offended is in direct proportion to how stupid they are. The further a society drifts from the truth, the more it will hate those who speak it. To indulge in outrage is to renounce wisdom. To investigate the fact of your own anger, you must pass no judgment on it. If you want to determine the nature of anything, entrust it to time. When the sea is stormy, you can see nothing clearly. Some things torment us more than they ought. Some torment us before they ought, and others torment us when they ought not torment us at all. All things matter for fools. The wisest fight only for things that truly matter. They know time and energy are limited. The more upset a person is with other people and with circumstances, and the more satisfied he is with himself, the further he is from wisdom. How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it? Anger and aggression sometimes seem to be protective because they bring energy to bear on a particular situation. But that energy is blind. It takes a calm mind to be able to consider things from different angles and points of view. The intoxication of anger, like that of the grape, shows us to others, but hides us from ourselves. It is wise to direct your anger towards problems, not people, to focus your energies on answers, not excuses. First to anger loses the battle, last to anger wins the war. He that is kind is free, though he is a slave. He that is evil is a slave, though he be a king. Anger is like a storm rising up from the bottom of your consciousness. When you feel it coming, turn your focus to your breath. Shouting something didn't make it any more possible. When angry, count to 10 before you speak. If very angry, count to 100. If you hate a person, then you're defeated by them. It always makes me proud to love the world somehow, hate so easy compared. I believe anger is a wasted emotion, and I don't like to waste emotions. Getting angry doesn't solve anything. A hand ready to hit may cause you great trouble. A man in a passion rides a mad horse. A quarrelsome man has no good neighbors. Anger makes us feel so isolated. Anger is a short madness. Every time you get angry, you poison your own system. An action committed in anger is an action doomed to failure. Anger is one letter short of danger. He that will be angry for anything will be angry for nothing. One's anger is one's greatest enemy, and one's calmness is one's protection. Another person will not hurt you without your cooperation. You are hurt the moment you believe yourself to be. Anger is an unnecessary emotion. Loads of stuff in life can trigger it, but what matters is how you react. I choose not to react. Another person will not hurt you without your cooperation. You are hurt the moment you believe yourself to be. Exaggeration is truth that has lost its temper. Anger becomes limiting, restricting. You can't see through it. While anger is there, look at that, too. But after a while, you have to look at something else. When anger rises, think of the consequences. Fire in the heart sends smoke into the head. If you are patient in one moment of anger, you will escape 100 days of sorrow. If you kick a stone in anger, you will hurt your foot. Shouting something didn't make it any more possible. Only when we know our own darkness well can we be present with the darkness of others. People won't have time for you if you are always angry or complaining. Postpone today's anger until tomorrow. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. A person does not react to the insult. He reacts to what the insult makes him feel about himself. We will cease to be angry once we cease to be so hopeful. It doesn't hurt me unless I interpret its happening as harmful to me. I can choose not to. Hating clouds the mind. It gets in the way of strategy. Leaders cannot afford to hate. A verbal threat is the most authentic certificate of impotence. The instant we feel anger, we have already ceased striving for the truth and have begun striving for ourselves. Delay gratification. Don't give your ego the satisfaction of a scream. It doesn't hurt me unless I interpret its happening as harmful to me. I can choose not to. When you think you've been injured, apply this rule. If the community isn't injured by it, neither am I, and if it is, anger is not the answer. Show the offender where he went wrong. Hatred is public and shameless demonstration of inferiority complex. Friendly reminder, if you ever lose your temper, it is your fault. Always, your emotional responses are never the responsibility of any other human being. We can't control what people say, but we do have a say in how we react. Refusing to give others power over our feelings is a mark of emotional intelligence. We will cease to be angry once we cease to be so hopeful. A person does not react to the insult. He reacts to what the insult makes him feel about himself. If we could learn to like ourselves, even a little, maybe our cruelties and angers might melt away. Keep your temper. A decision made in anger is never sound. When angry, count to 4. When very angry, swear. The anger of the prudent never shows. Anger's not a good emotion. Expressing anger is a form of public littering. If a small thing has the power to make you angry, does that not indicate something about your size? Anger is a momentary madness, so control your passion, or it will control you. Anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it. I'm not the perfect person. I'm not the most happy person. I get angry and I get mad sometimes, but I try my best to control my thoughts because that flows throughout your body. Anger ventilated often hurries toward forgiveness, and concealed often hardens into revenge. I realize that if my thoughts immediately affect my body, I should be careful about what I think. Now, if I get angry, I ask myself why I feel that way. If I can find the source of my anger, I can turn that negative energy into something positive. Never go to bed angry. Stay up and fight. Where there is anger, there is always pain underneath. Holding on to anger, resentment, and hurt only gives you tense muscles, a headache, and a sore jaw from clenching your teeth. Forgiveness gives you back the laughter and the lightness in your life. Man should forget his anger before he lies down to sleep. Bitterness is like cancer. It eats upon the host, but anger is like fire. It burns it all clean. Anger is an expensive luxury in which only men of certain income can indulge. Speak when you are angry and you will make the best speech you will ever regret. I get angry about things, then go on and work. It is wise to direct your anger towards problems, not people, to focus your energies on answers, not excuses. It is impossible for you to be angry and laugh at the same time. Anger and laughter are mutually exclusive, and you have the power to choose either. There's nothing wrong with anger provided you use it constructively. Learn this from me. Holding anger is a poison. It eats you from inside. We think that hating is a weapon that attacks the person who harmed us. But hatred is a curved blade, and the harm we do to ourselves. Anger is a killing thing. It kills the man who angers. For each rage leaves him less than he had been before. It takes something from him. Anger is an acid that can do more harm to the vessel in which it is stored than to anything on which it is poured. A quick temper will make a fool of you soon enough. For every minute you remain angry, you give up 60 seconds of peace of mind. You can't shake hands with a clenched fist. My friends, love is better than anger, hope is better than fear, optimism is better than despair. So let us be loving, hopeful, and optimistic, and we'll change the world. Anger is a wind which blows out the lamp of the mind. You will not be punished for your anger. You will be punished by your anger. One of man's greatest obligations is anger. There are two things a person should never be angry at: what they can help and what they cannot. Life is like dancing. If we have a big floor, many people will dance. Some will get angry when the rhythm changes, but life is changing all the time. It's so important to realize that every time you get upset, it drains your emotional energy. Losing your cool makes you tired. Getting angry a lot messes with your health. Beware the fury of a patient man. Holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. A man can't eat anger for breakfast and sleep with it at night and not suffer damage to his soul. I don't usually lose my temper, but if I get angry, it's true I'm scary. Anger, it's a paralyzing emotion. You can't get anything done. Not the fastest horse can catch a word spoken in anger. Something my mom taught me years and years and years ago is life's just too short to carry around a great bucket load of anger and resentment and bitterness and hatreds and all that sort of stuff. To be angry is to revenge the faults of others on ourselves. Anger begins with folly and ends with repentance. Americans are slow to anger, but once they do get angry, they are impossible to stop. Be modest, humble, and simple. Control your anger. Anger is what makes a clear mind seem clouded. Never do anything when you are in a temper, for you will do everything wrong. Anger makes you smaller, while forgiveness forces you to grow beyond what you are. The sharpest sword is a word spoken in wrath. Anger dwells only in the bosom of fools. Whatever is begun in anger ends in shame. Holding anger is a poison. It eats you from inside. We think that hating is a weapon that attacks the person who harmed us, but hatred is a curved blade, and the harm we do to ourselves. Every day we have plenty of opportunities to get angry, stressed, or offended. But what you're doing when you indulge these negative emotions is giving something outside yourself power over your happiness. You can choose to not let little things upset you. The greatest remedy for anger is delay. Anger is the enemy of nonviolence, and pride is a monster that swallows it up. The more anger towards the past you carry in your heart, the less capable you are of loving in the present. Do not teach your children never to be angry. Teach them how to be angry. Sometimes when I'm angry, I have the right to be angry, but that doesn't give me the right to be cruel. At the core of all anger is a need that is not being fulfilled. Anger, it's a paralyzing emotion. You can't get anything done. Anger is a valid emotion. It's only bad when it takes control and makes you do things you don't want to do. Get mad, then get over it. Anybody can become angry, that is easy, but to be angry with the right person, and to the right degree, and at the right time, and for the right purpose, and in the right way, that is not within everybody's power and is not easy. I don't think your ability to fight has anything to do with how big you are. It's to do with how much anger is in you. He who angers you conquers you. Life is precious and there's not a lot of room for anger. Never respond to an angry person with a fiery comeback, even if he deserves it. Don't allow his anger to become your anger. Anger is never without a reason, but seldom with a good one. Reacting in anger or annoyance will not advance one's ability to persuade. The opposite of anger is not calmness, it's empathy. Anger is like those ruins which smash themselves on what they fall. How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it? It is a waste of energy to be angry with a man who behaves badly, just as it is to be angry with a car that won't go. Anger and intolerance are the enemies of correct understanding. I think often when you are in just a lot of pain, it comes out as anger. Anger is a great force. If you control it, it can be transmuted into a power which can move the whole world. Anger is never without an argument, but seldom with a good one. A little anger is a good thing if it isn't on your own behalf, if it's for others deserving of your anger, your empathy. Anger has a way of seeping into every other emotion and planting itself in there. Violent anger makes me physically ill. You can survive with anger, but you can't live with it forever. A lot of artists think they want anger, but a real, strong, bitter anger occupies the mind, leaving no room for creativity. There was never an angry man that thought his anger unjust. Anger may repast with thee for an hour, but not repose for a night. The continuance of anger is hatred. The continuance of hatred turns malice. When you learn that a truth is a lie, anger follows. Sometimes with anger you can be much more dangerous than with skill. Acting in anger and hatred throughout my life, I frequently precipitated what I feared most, the loss of friendships and the need to rely upon the very people I'd abused. There's a reason why anger, fear, and hatred are paths to the dark side. They all spring from a single source, the same source as a certain flavor of love, a dangerously sweet, addictive flavor. It's better to cry than to be angry, because anger hurts others, while tears flow silently through the soul and cleanses the heart. I've never felt that anger is a very powerful emotion. A lot of people think they should be happy all the time, but the writer understands you need both. You need the whole piano, the richness of the whole human experience. Depression, suffering, and anger are all part of being human. Anger is one of the sinews of the soul. Anger can be a useful emotion. It's built into our genetic code to help with self-preservation, but it can also be destructive, even when it is justified. Never forget what someone says to you when they are angry. You can tell the greatness of a man by what makes him angry. And angry people cannot create anything that is not imbued with anger. If you and I want to stir up a resentment tomorrow that may rankle across the decades and endure until death, just let us indulge in a little stinging criticism, no matter how certain we are that it is justified. To be angry is to let others' mistakes punish yourself.